Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Somerstown Board work session meeting, starting here at 7:05 for Thursday, August 11th, 2022. I first would like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first we're gonna start here with roll call. Patty?
Councilman William G. Faulkner.
Here.
Councilman Richard G. Quincy.
Here.
Councilman Anthony J. Sirica.
Here.
Councilman Thomas A. Garrity Jr. Supervisor Rob Scruton.
Here. All right. So first we're going to, I'd like to make a motion to open up public hearing. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Before we start the public hearing here, I'd just like to bring up Dave Smith. Dave is not here right now, so.
Dave is here.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Dave, you want to come up here? There, I didn't see you over there. Didn't know you got back. And just to talk a little bit about what's on the agenda here with Best Plumbing.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yep.
actually.
All right. The world is a better place.
So, Mr. Supervisor, at your last night's meeting of the planning board, this matter for Best Plumbing, there was a referral for review and recommendation. The planning board at their regularly scheduled meeting was provided a presentation by Mr. Jonas Wiener from Best Plumbing. The planning board went through each of the requests for amendment to the special exception use permit. There was a fair bit of discussion back and forth about the proposed activities at the site. I think some of the notes, and we've provided a memorandum to you and your board on behalf of the planning board. And in there, they discussed, at the meeting, they discussed kind of the activities that would be occurring. And I think it was part of the information that was garnered that wasn't maybe particularly clear from the application was a lot of the activity would be occurring within the building, within the warehouse building itself, internal and not necessarily external. The planning board did note that the outdoor storage and layout that's being proposed at some point, if this board agrees to allow for outdoor storage, that would have to come back to the planning board for a site plan approval per town code. And then essentially to summarize, upon consideration, the planning board as a whole had no objections to the proposed revisions to the special exception use permit as presented. So you have that before you as part of the record for your consideration and deliberation. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Is there anybody else here that would like to make a public comment about that? I think I know some of us. Or anything. Well, not public.
Well, no,
We're still
it's
open
just the hearing.
just for the hearing as well. Sorry. I know that I think I know Jonas, you're here this evening. I think there's still a few questions that we have here. If you want to just come up and maybe we can just ask you a few questions, that would be great.
Jonas Wiener, Best Plumbing Supply.
Great. So I think on some of these, I think one of the things that we're trying to just wrap our head around here is the actual office business hours, right? There's so many different things that were going on in this. If you could just kind of tell us what the actual office business hours are and kind of give us a rundown, that would be, that'd be pretty helpful.
Well, what we're looking to change is from opening the warehouse from 6 a.m. to 5 a.m. And that would be to allow for employees only access to the warehouse if they had to assemble orders inside the building.
There'd be
Sorry,
no,
on which days of the week?
that would be for
Monday through Friday.
That's Monday through Friday. That's what you have there on that one.
I think it would be helpful just to separate out Monday through Friday and Saturday,
Okay,
because I think that's where we had some, we're not quite sure.
okay. Maybe that's not clear. So warehouse and office operations from Monday through Friday to Monday through Saturday would be for, with no trucking activity, is what we're looking to, okay, so it's Monday through Friday. We want to be able to have the warehouse and office open on Saturday for employee access and for customers to make pickups, not for trucking deliveries. So there'd be no trucking activity, meaning delivery trucks on our part going out or receiving of material from truckers coming in.
And that would just be Rob Scarano coming in with his pickup truck and grabbing a
10 toilets.
10 toilets, if I could fit them in there. But
Yeah.
that's what you're looking for.
Yeah,
not-
so it's not
Or-
a truckload of
or-
material being delivered.
So.
Could it be somebody coming in with a box truck?
Tom, hold on one second. Let just Anthony go, then you go, okay?
All right,
So you're saying, no deliveries to and from to the warehouse to sort of fulfill the warehouse, but you will do customer fulfillment,
Customer fulfillment.
which
We
means
would not
people
be-
could come up and say, I need something.
Yeah.
and,
And that would include contractors who are doing.
Yes,
Develop-
customers. But it wouldn't be our trucks making deliveries out, and it wouldn't be receipt of materials coming in from deliveries.
but it could be trucks coming in from contractors to pick up.
Certainly.
Yeah, so there is, in my opinion, there is trucking being done. You're not limiting the size of the customer's truck. So while it wouldn't be your trucks, it would be customers' trucks on a Saturday during the day and afternoon. Or could be.
Is that fair? I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
And what is it now on Saturday that you are doing? And what is it you can do even if you're not doing it?
Okay, we can open the showroom on Saturdays, but we're not.
And those hours that you could but are not are,
Those are the principal business hours. I'm actually not sure. Our
we
showroom,
weren't either.
our showroom is open from 9:30 to 4:30 during the week.
Yeah,
So if we were to open on Saturday, we might open at noon or till noon, but we wouldn't open before 9:30 because that's when our showroom would be open. And the customer fulfillment side is the concept. So we would be looking to fulfill showroom orders. But if we were to open on a Saturday and none of our operations that do customer fulfillment for pipes, valves, and fittings, the supply side, none of our other locations happen to be open on Saturdays. So this is for future potential use. This is not something that is imminent.
and the other part is the warehouse part, you would like open on Saturday at which time?
It's a fair question. Certainly not 5 a.m.
That's good.
I would be very comfortable that it wouldn't be open, that we would be looking for Monday through, are we switching to the 5 a.m.
just
issue?
stay on
or-
Just want to keep on Saturday. We'll get Saturday first. So what would it look like under your proposal?
My proposal would be that it would be the same hours as we had the showroom open, whatever that time would be.
Which is 9,
9:30 to 4:30 currently,
even though you don't. open.
even though we don't open on Saturday. Monday through Friday, that's when we're open.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Tom.
So Jonas, we know that now, it's always been a family-owned business, but now it's been sold to what I'll call a bigger box store. Do you have any idea, do they operate their other businesses and their other locations on weekends now? Are they open? Do you know what hours they run? Because here's my fear, or here's my concern, is that, it always was owned by your family and we had direct contact with you, and you might be the general manager, but you never know how long that'll last or what's going to change. And you have a company that's coming in here, they're going to look to expand. They're going to look to get open as much as they can. We don't have a relationship with the new owners. We haven't met any of them. We don't know, we know the name of the company, but we don't know who they are. And my guess is, they're going to say, hey, we're not Jonas's family and who's been operating here for years and years. We're a new business and we want to open on Saturday. Now we're open here. Now we're open there. That's my concern, is that it's not Jonas anymore that we've been dealing with for the last 20 years. It's a new company that Jonas is working for.
Okay. We're the most retail-oriented store in their 748 locations around the country. They're a wholesale plumbing supply house. I could venture to say that most of their operations are not open on Saturdays.
Okay. Again, I just have these concerns.
Oh, I understand Tom's point.
All the people last month were they were very positive toward you and your cooperation over the course of years, which is great. They just now fear, and that's what Tom's saying, is that it won't necessarily be you. It could be
Nothing's as constant as change.
Right.
However,
deep.
that's why we're here tonight.
Right.
And we want to make sure we write these things so it
Absolutely.
becomes what we anticipate,
Totally agree. No,
not just what Jonas says it'll be.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the question that we had, is that sort of the hours of business, right? We just talked about Saturday, and I think you touched base a little bit on the Monday through Friday,
Yeah. Let's
right? Looking for I know you touched on the first one, warehouse operations, Monday through Friday. You wanted to move that to 5 a.m. rather than 6 a.m., right?
But I think that what we would want to say in there, if I were rewriting this,
For employees only?
yes.
Right. So I heard you say that a couple of times, but just the employees only coming in there at 5 a.m. internal within the warehouse,
Exactly.
organizing things, getting things ready.
No beep beeps as
No
we say.
beep beeps, no trucking activity or operations. Let me ask this question. So what time usually, right? So do the beep beeps usually start? And we use the word, right, from the other week. What time do you usually send your trucks out? And what time do you normally receive the trucks coming in? When does that usually happen?
Yeah. Our principal trucking operations start probably 7:15.
10:15,
Yeah.
Right.
Leaving.
leaving, right? What about incoming?
Incoming would be after they're all cleared out. I'm going to say
So
about
make
9
room for
o'clock
that?
in the morning.
Okay, because I know the other thing on the list too was to remove the window, the 7:40 to 8:15.
Yeah.
Your trucks get out, and then you would have to wait for the other trucks to come in, which would be after, right, with the light, now the light's in there.
Our warehouse management, obviously, we don't want incoming trucks while we're outgoing because we only have 3 or 4 or 5 loading bays, whatever the number is.
Correct. So it's safe to say that the outgoing trucks would be after 7 o'clock.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay, and then incoming would
Well,
be
let
after.
me add to that. It may not be. They may leave. Currently, they're allowed to. We're open at 6 a.m. They can leave because we may have a long delivery out in the end of Long Island or something.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, so as it stands right now, with the way that says that would be the operation hours at 6 a.m. So you can leave at 6 a.m. currently what it's in and out. But
That's
normally,
what it is,
typically, you leave at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And those warehouse hours go 6 o'clock until when right now?
6 p.m. Warehouse principal till 6 p.m.
6 to 6.
But we actually close at 4:30, so there's no trucks
You
after.
don't need
4.
an extension.
No, we do
on that.
not.
You
No.
want extension on
No.
the first part, not the late part.
So we have actual trucking activity between the hours of 6 and 7 right now on the main drag leaving, nothing coming in.
Could be, yes. It's
Could
not. It's not very active. Most of the trucks don't leave until 7, 7:15, 7:30.
Yeah,
But we
and I
could-
said this before too, we have a rule in town that the garbage trucks can't do anything until after 7 o'clock. And if you're out on the roads at 6:30, they're always trying to get out there at 6:45 or 20. They're always, I've driven to work at 6:30 in the morning and followed a few of them. So I get nervous that when you move those things, that they keep edging it further. So from my standpoint, guys, I'm fine with the 6 o'clock right now, not the 5. And I don't know if we're going to go through the items each individually, but that's where I'm at.
Okay.
There is no relationship though between the truckers' activity and the 5 or 6 a.m. It's just for the employees, Tom.
Right. Right.
I see the separation of the two, right? And I'm glad you made that point. I know you made the point last night. You made the point when you were here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a couple of times to hear it in someone's brain before it actually gets processed, but I know it is, it's the, that time is for the employees only,
Correct.
right? And for that 5 a.m. Okay, and then I'll move up the other ones. The warehouse and office operations Monday through Saturday, no trucking activity or operations outside the equipment on Saturday,
Yeah, that would be fine.
right? And that would go also for the outdoor storage as well, because it's no big trucking activity there, right?
Correct.
Got it.
And that's 9:30 to 4:30, all of those things on Saturday.
I suppose so, but I guess the way, if I
It
were
is your
rewriting it, then I would say that the Saturday hours would be reflective of our Monday through Friday hours. But since we have no intention of actually doing Saturday, I'd like to get as broad a flexibility as I can on that. Because I don't see how it would impact my neighbors in a negative way.
Early on Saturday?
Well, again, it's the showroom would be open. So the only way that would happen is if we opened the contractor site earlier.
All right, so I'm confused once again. You're asking to be open through Saturday, but you're saying you really may not do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have the opportunity. I would need the opportunity to have the Saturday hours should we want to do it. Right now, we don't want to do it. We don't need to do it. But at some future date, we might like to expand our current hours. We might want to expand our opening to Saturday so that the showroom could be open from 9:30 to 4:30 on Saturday. And the question here, Tom, I believe, is what would the contractor hours be or warehouse hours be? So if we were to make it simple and say that they would reflect what the showroom hours, which are approved, could be, even though I don't believe there's any definitive showroom hours specified in what we're allowed to do, we would have no issue with the 9:30 to 4:30.
But they're approved Monday through Friday right now. If you put it to Sunday, again, one of my things is you're not going to have your trucks, but if you have contractors out there, GCs out there coming to pick up stuff, they could be pulling up in trucks throughout the day on Saturday.
If we're open on Saturday, anybody can, if we were
Yep.
open on Saturday,
Okay.
which
No,
we're
that's good.
allowed
I got
to do
it.
right now, anybody could come in with a truck and go to our showroom.
Got it.
Beginning at 9:30.
Right now, they could come there at 8 o'clock if we were open. Right now, we have the right to be open at 8 o'clock.
For the warehouse.
No, for our principal business activities, which would include.
Did you just tell-
look,
Showroom. I've got showroom, principal activities. But I'm not sure I'm,
If you were to read the
Yeah.
documentation.
that's why we're asking the questions, right?
So if let me see what our approval was, if I have it here. It's my understanding that the hours that we were approved for Saturday, there were no hours specified. The restriction was removed for showroom use only for Saturday, which would reflect our principal business hours, which are from 8 o'clock to 10 to 7 p.m. 8 o'clock to 8 a.m. I don't know what the ending time is, but it's the beginning that's of concern. So to make it simple, I believe that I would have no problem with saying that the contractor access, warehouse and office access would reflect the showroom opening access, which we currently have approvals for. And if you wanted to put in the 9:30 to 4:30, I don't think that would be any issue.
I think I would make it simpler for everybody, the people who live
I
there
just-
and the town board.
I
I'm sure
want to
you'll
make
comment on
everybody as
that
happy
later.
as
But everyone
possible.
will know then at least what it is.
That's fine with me.
And I assume that if you put this in, there's an intention at some point in the future at doing it. Otherwise, you'd say, just strike Saturday. Everybody will be happy.
Well,
Sure
I'm
don't
not
want
that nice a guy, you know?
Yeah.
I think we touched on the two bottoms, right? I think we hit on a little bit on the other removal of the time, the 7:40 to 8:15, I think, whatever that was. We touched on that. The principal business activities, customer access commencing at 7 a.m. rather than 8 a.m. Right? I think you guys have an understanding about that as well. And then I know the outside storage there, and that was for a 3,500 square foot patio, is that right? And then with another 1,500 so driveway?
I don't have it calculated to square feet, but it's 40 by 87 and the driveway is 15 by 102. But we would be coming to the planning board
Planning
for all
board,
our
right.
approvals and
Okay.
everything else to make
Okay.
sure that it met whatever had to be met.
Okay.
Yeah, and the planning board could increase or decrease the size based on
Right.
what they feel is right. We're just approving the actual ability to do it.
Okay, Jonas?
Yeah, and 40 by 87 is about 3,480 square feet.
Yeah, that was right. Okay. 3,500. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay, and then I would, so if nobody else here for the public hearing, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Are we closing it or are we?
No, we're. well, I
We're
think I
closing
talked
it
to
and voting
Rick.
on it.
No,
I don't think we're gonna vote on it.
Public hearing.
Well, if we close it, don't we have to vote on it?
Don't
No.
have to.
No? Okay.
No,
Okay, we've heard what we want to hear.
we heard what we wanted to hear,
Okay,
right? So
we don't
I make a
vote on
motion to close public hearing, and then we'll come up with a
Second.
decision for, all in favor?
Aye.
We'll move, and then we'll put it on September 1st, and we'll come back with a decision for you.
But you're gonna write something.
I'll write something up. Yep.
Something that we can understand.
Yep, something that we can
As
all
we
understand,
understand it,
as
yes.
we understand. Right, and.
Well, I think, aren't we going to have to vote on this, piece by piece for each one of the items?
I'll break it out for
We
each,
could.
I'll break it out each individual item.
Well, I'm suggesting that's how we vote. When we do vote,
All right.
I don't want to, I don't want Jonas to be, get in trouble because, I agree with one and not three, and all three are in the resolution.
No,
So,
I think we'll break it out individually.
okay.
But you will need a resolution
Correct.
amended. I assume Dave is going to prepare that, a resolution amending the special use permit.
Okay.
So that there's a document to be filed with the town clerk.
So Roland, how does that work? Would we get a resolution with all 4 points or just?
You're gonna do great.
We're gonna have to agree, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
I know, so, so that's what I'm saying is we're gonna have to vote on each of the individual items first and then come up with a resolution. Like I might agree with one, but I don't agree with the other three. So if the resolution comes out that we're gonna grant all four, I'm voting no.
You can't do it that way.
Can't have separate.
If you don't agree with it, then you vote against it.
But what happens if I agree with one of the
Can't
four?
piecemeal it. It's all
So you're saying you have to vote, it's the entire
It's all or
resolution.
nothing.
one
entire-
resolution.
Aye or nay.
Okay,
Yeah.
we couldn't do it individually.
And then if that were so, we maybe have to revise that resolution to get
Yeah.
to get-
any piece of legislation.
Exactly.
Okay, doesn't make sense, but okay.
All right. I will, I'll work on that.
Got
it. Okay, I guess we could open up public comment.
No, it's over.
It's over.
Well,
Yeah.
no, Jonas, I think, Rob's gonna take a stab at this and write this up. I think he's gonna give you a call and kind of get this. We wanted to break this thing out between, warehouse, principal business, Saturdays and Monday through Friday.
There we go, reopen.
No.
I just wanted to make it clear, if I can, to clear up anything that Tom may have any confusion with, or anybody would have confusion with. I want to be as accommodating as possible.
Yeah.
So I would hate to see us vote no because of a misunderstanding of the fact that you said, well, if you open at 9:30 and close at 4:30, it's not a problem, but you didn't say that, blah, blah, blah. So,
Sure. Go ahead.
I think that, right, we understand that.
okay,
Yes, and it wouldn't be strike the whole thing because there is one thing. That's what we have to kind of craft together.
Right, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
I'm gonna take a stab at cracking, to stab at it, so
okay.
we'll be in touch.
When in
Thank you.
doubt, have
Okay.
Sharon call us because
Yeah.
no one argues with Sharon.
All right. Let's move on to public comment. Like to make a motion to open up public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so move. Anybody here for public comment? have no one here for public comment. I would like to make a motion to close public comments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, on to approval of minutes. Patty?
We're gonna remove that. I did not get that up to you guys in time.
Okay,
Okay.
no worries. All right, and department reports? Patty, any
I
department
have
reports?
reports from the town clerk, building inspector, zoning board of appeals, plumbing, bureau of fire prevention, parks and recreation, planning and engineering, tax receiver, and director of finance.
All righty, let's move on to some business of the board. Let's move on to the town board. Let me give you a COVID-19 update. Active cases here in Somers are 108 active cases, and that is 6 new cases. The last time that we were here, Rich, I know you usually ask that, we had 131
Right.
cases that were active from our last time.
So we had 131 cases, 17. active.
17 active. So coming down, but we went right in that range of 100 to 125. So we've been stable in that area.
I mean, the whole thing's going to be what happens in the fall and winter in the southern hemisphere of the country, of the world. We've got winter and it's been going up there. So that's the concern. And whether there'll be new vaccines that take into account the new variants, whether we call it SV5 or whatever they call it, so everybody's got to keep careful.
Excuse me.
Going forward.
Apologies that they somebody had for public comment on Zoom.
Oh, we
We
do.
have somebody just joined like about 30 seconds ago on Zoom.
Okay.
I know you closed public comment.
Do they have a comment?
Want to ask them through your microphone, please.
If anybody was on Zoom, did you have wanted to make a public comment?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, since you just joined, let me just, I guess I can go back, right? I mean,
She just called.
she just
Yeah, it's
called.
a small town.
All right, so I just make a motion to reopen public comment.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and if you would like to make your public comment, that'd be great. If you could just state your name for us,
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
My name is Josephine Bastone. I understand that Dylan from NICEAG is supposed to be there.
Yes.
Yes,
My comment is basically addressed to him. I don't know if he's aware that on Tea Kettle 489, for years we averaged 1.5 blackouts a month. It's gotten better. We don't have as many blackouts. However, for example, in 2021, of the 8 blackouts we had, at least 4 were due to trees. This year, the June 8th, the July 11th, and the August 1st blackouts were all due to trees on Lake Road. I know we're on a 5-year tree trimming schedule, and so we're not due for tree trimming until next year, but I would think because of the correlation between the number of outages that we have, and I understand I've been told by NICEAG and by others that this part of Somers has more outages than in any other part, that perhaps we should be on a 3-year tree trimming schedule.
All right,
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate it. I think gentleman here heard what your comment was, and I'm sure he's taking it in. And I want to thank you so much for your comment.
He's next on the agenda.
It's
so
next on the agenda.
I would think.
Yeah. I'd like to make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Is Dylan here?
Yeah, next up, AMI smart meters, Dylan Miyoshi from New York State Electric and Gas, NICEAG, is going to give us a little presentation. Dylan, if you'd like to come up for us.
Okay, great.
You might get that mic, raise it up. Just a bottom for you. It's very nice.
Problems of being tall, I guess. Good evening, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Dylan Miyoshi, and I am the local Brewster division of NICEAG's Government and Community Relations Manager. So today I'm going to be talking to you about AMI smart metering. I do have the presentation up on the TV screen if you'd like to turn to that.
Dylan, before you begin, can you give the woman sort of an answer I'm not sure you can, well, she wants you to increase the frequency of the tree cutting, just to give her a short answer of what, if anything, be done or when you can look at that.
Sure. So currently we are on a 5-year trimming cycle, and that is something that has been, discussed and negotiated with the New York State Public Service Commission. In terms of the outages she was describing, I know the town received Ms. Bastone's correspondence, and I know we replied that the 2 outages were actually in relation to outside of our right of way, which in turn mean we do not have the right to cut their tree. We do not have the right to go on their property and cut that tree. I think it was the July 11th one, I believe, was owned by DEC, for example. We're not allowed to go in and cut people's property like that. So we do understand the concern, and we have heavily invested via our resiliency program, especially here in the town of Somers. And, I know your comment did entail that this has gotten better here. And, we are continuing to work on that. And I will certainly take back your comments about that Lake Street specifically.
Your arborist has been here in this room several times with a committee that we've had, as you know, I'm sure. And he's a wonderful arborist.
I will take that back to Sam. He will love to hear that.
But is it possible to, like, as I understand, it's hard to change the cycle, since I think you're on a statewide cycle of every 5 years. Other than that, it's obviously emergency maintenance.
Correct. Yeah. So there, of course, there's emergency maintenance for trees if need be. If it's detrimental to our infrastructure. But besides that, every utility statewide is on a 5-year trim cycle. Actually, for our other divisions up in NYSEG, Brewster is the only one that is on a 5-year. We're trying to get approvals for all of our other divisions.
What are the other divisions of?
The other divisions do not have a trim cycle whatsoever. We've never gotten approval from the Public Service Commission for it. So we're trying to do that this year.
Thanks. If you want to hop into the presentation.
Sure. So we're talking about smart meters today. This is a really great program that I think most of the residents here are going to end up loving. There we go. So this is something that was negotiated as part of our last rate case with the New York State Public Service Commission in partnership with a lot of local municipalities, specifically here in the Brewster Division. I believe the previous town supervisor was a large part of this as well, pushing for this AMI smart meter program. And so what a smart meter is it's essentially taking the current meters that are on your home and bringing it into the 21st century. I'll discuss the benefits a little bit more later in the slide, but just a tidbit that I think a lot of people don't unnecessarily understand is currently, if there's a power outage, we can't see if your individual home has power or not with the current analog meters. These smart meters will give us the ability to ping a meter every 15 minutes and tell you if you have power or not, and get accurate numbers that would eliminate estimated bill readings. So beginning of January 2023, we are going to be rolling out this installation, and that'll include parts of Dutchess, Putnam, and Westchester. So as you can see here, it is broken up into 4 phases, the north, east, south, and west phase, with Somers kind of falling in 3 of the different phases, the east, the south, and the west. And so what that means is it's going to be about 2 months per phase, because it'll take about 8 months for these installations. So, as we're installing, you're going to be seeing various parts of the town start to get converted.
But they all should be, you said, at 8 months, it should all.
Yes.
Yeah, so 8 months.
Next year.
Correct. So
Okay.
probably in the July, August area,
Okay. That's
this
great.
entire division will be converted.
And when did you say when you're going to start?
January.
January. Okay.
Yep.
So you're saying 8 months from January 2002.
Give or take, just in case there's storms or things, but I'd say safely in the July, August range, we should be pretty much wrapped up with the entire division.
And all right, you'll communicate with us.
Yep, and
Yeah.
we're walking right into that part, so
Continue.
good timing.
Yeah.
So we actually, our company Avon Grid has experience doing this previously up in Maine with Central Maine Power. And one of the feedback items that we've gotten from our sister company is unfortunately there's just those bad actors that try to take advantage of elderly residents and things during these processes, claiming to be the electric company and trying to scam people. So in order to combat that, we are going to make sure our people are, dressed in NYSEG gear. They have a NYSEG photo ID, and their vehicles will have a NYSEG logo on it to prevent any confusion. So these meter upgrades will take about 10 minutes, and it will require a brief service interruption. It typically takes, 2 to 5 minutes to replace a meter, but we're padding a little 10 minutes just so people.
So you're going to replace the meter on the front of my house within 10 minutes?
Correct.
With a new meter?
Yep. We pull it out, we put it in.
I can't put an extension cord in 10 minutes. So.
Thankfully, our team is very well trained at that. I don't think I can do that either. So we'll be doing these Monday through Friday from 8 to 4 p.m. And then we do have some Saturday hours available. For the most part, that will be reserved for our large commercial customers and life support equipment customers, just so then we're not impacting business operations. If there are businesses that, we can do it on a Saturday and be convenient to that business, we're going to do our best to. Same with life support equipment customers. We will not remove that meter until we have full contact with that life support equipment customer and know they have a plan, just in case they have any electrical machines that they need to support themselves.
Will each home get a heads up like Dylan's coming tomorrow to replace the
next slide?
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So what we'll be doing, so great question, Councilman. So about 3 weeks prior to us coming to those customers' areas, they will receive a postcard in the mail saying that NYSEG is coming, and they can go to nyseg.com/smart meters. And then, as I said, a life support equipment customer, we're working with our team separately, and there's a whole department for this that will be reaching out to these customers. And as I said, we will not replace those people's meters until we make that contact with them. For anybody else, if no one is home day of, we will knock on the door. And if no one answers, we will just replace the meter and leave a door hanger saying, hey, you have a new meter. If someone is working from home under the new normal and they're on a conference call or something like that, I can't promise anything, but we will do our best to accommodate people in those areas. Our team has been told to do their best in that circumstance. So if they're finishing a conference call and it takes 15, 20 minutes, they might go do the neighbor's house and then circle back to try to accommodate while we're going through this process. But, we'll do our best, but we can't guarantee that. So you may have started to see or hear of these already going up. So this is part of our wireless mesh network that are about 3 to 4 feet off the ground that are being placed in various locations all over the Brewster division currently. And so you may start to get calls or may see them yourselves. And so what these do is it creates a internal network for NYSEG to be able to ping these smart meters remotely. So now our billing department, as they're getting ready to create your bill, they will ping your meter and you will get the actual readout of your meter in that real time, which prevents any estimated bill reading.
So the network's going to go up before the meters are installed.
Correct. The meter is going up. The mesh network is going up right now as we speak. And, I know started to get calls of, people are like, hey, what's this big
You're
box?
putting them on poles. Are you running into any zoning issues, or what are you doing with double poles and all that stuff? Where are you putting these?
So our contractors have specifically been placing these all over. I don't know in terms of, what they're doing. We would put it on our pole. So if there was a double pole, for instance, we would put it on the new pole because that is our pole that we installed. So that would be what we would do.
And is there visual impacts on any of these, or they're just very small?
So if you look at these photos here, that middle one, it's about 3-4 feet off the ground. That's essentially what it looks like.
Oh, it's down at the ground.
Yeah, it's 3 to 4 feet high to create that level.
And so,
And that's better than being high.
Correct.
Oh,
and each, how many, well, so one of those will do how many homes?
That information I'd have to get to you from the technical side, but I know, there's going to be hundreds of these all over the Brewster division, and
So you're gonna have
a lot of them have already been installed.
And they'll be on all the poles. So you maybe multiple poles, they may serve a couple of homes. That'll be interesting to know.
It has its own zone, so it's not on every pole. It would be, on every, I'd say maybe like one a street type situation. But I can try to track down that more
And
concrete.
what's the
info for you.
technology? Is it line of sight, or is it some sort of like
So
Bluetooth thing, or what?
So it's an internal mesh network. So all these are kind of, wireless nodes that ping off each other and are able to read and create this mesh network. It does not utilize any like telecommunication tower or anything like that. This is something that's internal to NICEAG.
And you're not connecting these things with any lines. So this mesh network is all essentially wireless.
So it's a wireless mesh network that goes strictly to us, and they're on these poles so we can bring the electricity to that network.
is that a 5G or that's has nothing to do with 5G? It's your
It
own,
has nothing to do
it's
with
your own radio band, so to speak. Does it create any radiation?
No, these are completely safe. These are utilized nationwide, and these have been approved by the FCC, for a couple decades now. Quite honestly, this is something we've wanted to do for a while, and we just finally got approval in 2020. So we're actually kind of, for example, Con Edison has already installed this entire network.
Will I get better cable TV service with this?
I wish, I wish that'd be.
One other question, one of your constituent or one of your customers said, when you bill, will it be the same as now? Once a month, you get the reading and bill? Or since it's continuous, will you bill each time the rate changes? So if it changes in the middle of the week?
Are
it's a
you on the
different-
same billing cycle?
Yeah, so it's the same billing cycle.
Same
So
billing
as part of this, we are, upgrading our billing system in general to accommodate AMI. So this should alleviate most of the billing issues that customers have faced over the years. The biggest one being estimated bill reading. This actually gives you the ability to go in and, and I'll talk about this in a couple slides. It gives you a little bit more control over your energy usage.
So, I'm sorry for peppering you because the thought, the questions are popping right into my head as they go. What if you go into a community that have underground wiring, right? There's no poles.
Right.
How do you handle that?
So my understanding, and please forgive me, I'm not the technical
And
expert.
if you don't
with
know the
this,
answer, just get back to us with.
yeah, I'll get back to you, but I assume you're referring to Heritage Hills mostly.
Well, Heritage is the
Yeah.
second question, but there are like Bonnell developments all over the town that.
I know these were
underground.
specifically mapped out and are in the location specifically to make sure there's coverage everywhere. And, from working with the town for years, before my service here, I know we've worked very closely with the
Yeah,
town to
okay.
accommodate.
Understood.
Will there be? Yeah.
That's a great question. I'd have to get back to you.
It's like, what's your experience? That's it.
Yeah, it's there a lot of people hopefully, have adhered to our safety messages over the years and realize not to touch or go near any of those things because there is always that potential risk for electrocution. And, you know, I am hopeful that, you know, any potential vandals would be smart enough not to
You could
engage.
get electrocuted by that? Are you sure?
No, but you know, I would hope that, you know, the electric symbol in the middle there would be
Well,
enough
keep me
to,
away, but yeah.
right, hopeful people would be smart enough to do that,
All right,
but
well, take that back as a
Yeah.
safety question.
yeah.
Just back to Heritage Hills, their day and night.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
this
that's
will
my
handle
next-
day and night. Or that
So
was
these
special.
meters are the actual physical meters. So if they have a day-night rate, they will continue to have the day-night rate. If they have the standard rate, they will continue to have the standard rate. And so that is up to the customer. If they would like to convert from day-night meter to a standard meter, they are more than welcome to call our call center and schedule that. But they must know that it will, that they are locked into that meter for a year.
Okay.
So I remember when this discussion years ago came up, one of the positive things was it will reduce energy consumption, which is better for NYSEG, better for everybody, by encouraging people with a night rate to put your dryer on at 2 a.m. rather than 2 p.m. And I mean, I just expected that would be sort of automatic, but that's not automatic, you're saying. That there be these incentives that you would put in to keep the energy load more consistent through the day, which is better for you in terms of your production, then better for the consumer because of price, and ultimately better for the environment too. But-
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it is up to the customer. I know for myself, I personally am not, I don't have a smart, you know, washing machine that, and I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. to throw my load of laundry in. So I have a standard meter. You know, other people, they're, you know, on a very tight budget and they want the typically lower rate that a night rate provides. So they'll, you know, get up at.
Well, it doesn't
2 a.m.
require a different meter for that, does it? Wouldn't it be the same meter regardless?
Yeah,
The same smart meter I get.
yeah. So it's how it's built. So there, without getting too technical. So on the meter, there's 2 lines and it has the ability to read day, night, or standardize. Right.
But why wouldn't you? I mean,
So-
I'm sorry to ask so many questions, but why wouldn't you just have everybody? It seems to be the advantage of NYSEG, consumer, the environment. If everybody is on that to sort of lessen the need for the creation of electricity, you know, in other parts of the state.
Because I mean, it's
It's not your decision. I know.
It's mostly individual choice. Just very
Sure.
simply,
Okay.
if someone, you know, because we as a company are not allowed to hedge rates for a day-night meter. You know, the price increase in January, that was a large part due to people on day-night meters compared to a standard meter. And so it all comes down to individual choice. It's very similar to, you know, if people want to join a ESCO or something similar.
So
to that.
Dylan, get back on the.
Thank you. No problem. So as we've kind of talked about, smart meters have a lot of benefits. The biggest one, and I know the supervisor's office will be very happy with this one, the elimination of estimated bill readings. This is something that everyone comes up and asks questions about. This will eliminate this. As I said, about 15 minutes prior to your bills being generated, you can, you know, we are able to ping it and you will have your actual bill read. And then, as I mentioned before, faster outage response, because since we're now able to see down to the house level, we're going to be able to pinpoint where a tree falls on the line or where the car accident is a lot quicker than we would currently, because we're able to see if your meter's not running, you obviously don't have power. We have to go investigate why you don't have power. And typically, this will make it quicker response times.
Good.
So as I mentioned, this comes with an energy manager tool, which is really going to bring a lot of individual choice to customers. So this is something that'll be paired with with each NICEAG customer's account on the app or website. They can log in, and on a weekly basis, they are able to see their energy consumption based compared to temperature, and it'll look something kind of like that graph that is up on the screen. And
So every time it's pinged, it'll be available to us on the website. to see.
so it updates weekly,
Okay.
just so then people can see. And so the example I've been using, especially with this hot temperature, there's some people who run their pool pump for 8 hours. There's others who run it for 4 hours. And once they see that energy difference, they might say, hey, I'm going to run my pool pump only for 4 hours. And, be able to kind of take that individualism and, apply it to their monthly bill.
What about privacy of information? I mean, I've read, things about, these measurements and sharing that type of information. This is your, are there going to be a privacy policy around what?
Yeah, so only you are able to access your electrical usage via your account number and password, just like you do your current bills. It's going to be in the same section as your monthly bill. There'll be a section, your energy management tool, and you can go in, once a week and see how much energy you're using. That's something we do not share outside.
You said it's a weekly lag behind?
So it's about weekly. I've been told at some point we are going to try to make it daily, but to start, it'll be weekly, where you can kind of go in and just see, once a week, for the week, how much energy you're using.
Probably be able to differentiate the hours of usage, right? So from 8 o'clock or for peak hours, right? 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, everybody's hitting it. You can say, all right, instead of being at 7 o'clock, let me go 7:30.
Let me hit the snooze button for 15 minutes while the family does everything.
Okay.
Of course. And as I mentioned, this is mostly just a lot of individualism and knowledge, to the customer, give them more tools to kind of take their energy, in their own hands, which is something we've always liked to push for. So this is, we are wrapping up our elected official outreach. So this fall, we're actually going to be doing open house outreach. And so we're going to be doing open houses in Dutchess, Putnam, and Westchester. And I believe we are going to do a special one in Heritage Hills as well. Just to set up some and it'll look exactly like this. We'll set up poster boards around the room. Our experts will be there and we'll be able to answer any questions these folks will have. And once those dates are locked in, Supervisor, I'll make sure you and your office have it.
I like to put it on the website and
of
let
course.
them know, and then the appropriate parties up there in Heritage Hills could pass the information along as well to their residents up there.
Of course. And, that's something we do plan. I know I've been doing, we're trying to do kind of quarterly open houses over at Heritage Hills as well. So that's something we'll definitely promote while we're there.
Thank you.
These meters are going to be paid for by the customer, yes?
So these meters are already accounted for from our previous rate case. So the fee
they've all been paid for.
Correct. Now
Really?
we're installing them. Yeah, there's not going to be any individual fees associated with this, except if you decide to opt out of the smart meter program, there will be a $13.47 a month charge.
Why would someone do that?
As I said, people, have their beliefs about smart technology, and there are people who opt out. I believe in Maine, we had about 2% of the state opt out. And that is their choice, but they do have to understand there is, a cost associated with that. And same with these open houses. This fall, we'll be out and about at, local community days and big festivals in this area. Our contractors working with us, and they will, set up some tents and information about AMI. So you'll start to see that more and more in the community as you're out there. And with that, that's the end of the presentation. I don't know if anybody has additional questions. More than happy to answer them.
Anybody?
No, I think you mentioned the rate, last rate case. So this is the one that's concluded now, paid for this. You're applying for another rate case at this point. Did that get approved?
So that is currently under negotiation.
Okay.
It is about an 11-month process with the PSC. So there'll be more information over the course of I think we did in May. So,
Okay.
8-9 months.
Great. Thanks, Dylan.
Yep, no
Great.
problem.
What's your best contact information, Dylan?
I can give you a card on my way out
Okay.
here.
And if you just want to, if you're leaving, you can just put them on the big desk over there if you
Oh,
like.
perfect.
That'd be great.
I'll do that.
So if they get someone.
Thank you.
Great, Dylan, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, next up here, number 3 on the list, Highway Department salt shed grant discussion here. Steve, if you'd like to come on up, we have Steve Robbins here from Woodard and Kern.
I saw a video of the salt shed going down.
Yeah.
And it was like watching one of those things where he said it was like Bugs Bunny when they press the TNT button and everything falls down.
Good evening. I'm Steve Robbins, consulting town engineer, here to continue progress on the town's new salt shed for the highway department. Woodard and Kern's been working with the highway department to develop a design for the replacement of the highway department's salt storage shed at the highway garage on Route 100. The existing shed holds approximately 900 tons of salt, enough for 2 or 3 winter storms. And for better resiliency and protection of water quality, and better operational flexibility and resiliency, the highway department seeks to install a replacement salt shed that will hold approximately 4,000 tons of salt, which is about a season's worth. The expanded salt storage shed will be adequate for a full winter season under typical conditions and is more protective of water quality because it allows them to better time their delivery of salt and processing of salt for periods when there isn't inclement weather and do more of that work under cover of the salt shed. The existing wooden salt shed would be removed and replaced with a fabric covered steel framed shed, be approximately 75 feet wide by 100 feet long, and would be about 41 feet high at the peak of the front of the building. The highway department intends to purchase that salt shed under an existing state contract and will self-perform the demolition and site work needed for the rest of the work.
How does that compare with the current size of that shed?
It's
Or the
about
one that
4
used to
times
be there?
bigger
About 4 times bigger.
in volume of salt, not in footprint area, because we're able to stack a little bit higher in the salt shed. So they get more volume up as well as left and right.
Yeah, so the footprint of it is actually not expanded
No.
as much, correct?
Nope. So the 2 actions before the town board tonight, one is to review and ask questions, and if the board so chooses to approve that site plan. And then the second is to close out the secret process. So I'd be happy to walk you through the site plan a little bit. This figure up on the board now, Route 100 is out here on the left-hand side. The existing highway garage, main garage building is here. And the existing salt shed is kind of the dark shadow area here.
Where's the solar panels?
They are on the building that is up
Okay,
here
got it.
off the
So
plan.
go that direction.
Right now, when they load materials into the salt shed, there is a conveyor in the rear of the building. And they receive deliveries, they bring it around the back of the building, they process the salt, they add some liquid to it, and then stack it in the salt shed here. During salt spreading, salt application operations, the trucks come around back behind the building, come up through this alley, and use this loading dock to load onto the trucks and then back out of the building, of the facility. To the rear of the existing salt shed are stormwater ponds that were put in to help manage water quality from the highway department. This was funded by a grant and is on DEP property. The proposed salt shed is in the general existing location, in location of the existing salt shed. The key thing is that we have maintained the separation between the new salt shed and the fueling point, so that that same circulation of trucks can come in, come up, be loaded at a new loading dock, and then out. This ends up being wider and longer overall, but it's in the same location, generally speaking, as the existing salt shed. It does not result in any impacts to the stormwater infrastructure on the site. And it's covering area that's currently impervious surface. So we have no stormwater impacts from the new building as well.
So this will be good for the town because you can then have more salt if there's a, when you need it.
Correct.
And there have been some winters, I know, when salt for various towns was at a minimum. And only because our previous highway superintendent, Mr. Cheverini, had such great contacts, he knew how to get it sometimes when we needed it, when it would have been tough otherwise. So kudos to him. But now we'll be able to stack, you say, for a whole season.
Correct. So the first action here before the town is for the town board to approve this site plan if you so choose, and happy to answer any other questions that you have.
Let's just go over the grant and the money.
Sure.
Because
So the in
everybody did
28.
a great job in that.
Sure. In 2018, with former highway superintendent, we did have a different plan, worked out a different plan for the salt shed with him. Different kind of structure, slightly different orientation on the site, and anticipating that work to be contracted out. That total project budget in 2018 was $620,000 was the budget. With the modified site plan, modified structure, and highway department self-performing the majority of the work, currently the estimate for that project is down to $450,000. Of that, $325,000 is funded through two grants. One is a SAM grant, state and municipality grant through the state, and the other is through East of Hudson funds, watershed settlement funds. So the request from the town for general fund is about $125,000.
And the overall capacity you said is going to go to 4,000 tons. What was it previously again?
900.
And that's about what we use in a somewhat typical
In an
year.
average season, according to the highway superintendent. Yes,
It's a lot of salt.
it's a lot of salt.
And in this past year, we had those two ice storms in a row, and we were very close to running out due to the lack of storage. We had trucks coming in almost during the storms.
Yeah, the anticipation of the storms happening. So we were, so with the addition of this, I mean, we'll plan for the whole year, and which is a good thing.
Yeah, when you have those winter storms stack up on each other, you can run through that pile very quickly. And then you have to have new material come in. You have to process it. It's during the winter. It might be raining, and that's not ideal for runoff conditions.
Good. No brainer.
So I know the first one, A here, right, for site plan review, right? You want us to, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the site plan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then B here too, we need to close out the secra, right, determination.
Correct. So at the June town board meeting, the town board declared itself lead agency for secret purposes. Notice of that lead agency and project materials were transmitted to the involved and interested agencies on that notice. We did receive a comment letter from New York City DEP. They acknowledged the project. They acknowledged that all work is proposed to occur on the town's parcel and not on the adjacent DEP-owned parcel. They noted that the town holds a land use permit on that adjacent DEP parcel for maintenance of that stormwater treatment system, but they have no objections to the project. They just noted those for the town. No other comments have been received.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to close out the secret determination.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moved. And then we just talked a little bit about the funding here. So for C here, release the appropriate dollars from the capital fund. I'd like to make a motion to release those appropriate dollars.
Well, when you say appropriate, is that up to 125,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
Up to 125,000. Okay.
Yeah, let's put a cap on it.
So release the appropriate funds up from the capital fund up to 125,000. Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moved. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Good job.
I don't think I'm talking before. All right. So number 4, Patty, we're gonna take off the agenda for the evening. The applicant requested to come in September. for, so we'll move that to September 1st meeting. Number 5 here, authorize a reimbursement for town officers and employees at 62.5 cents per mile, which is the new rate for 2022 set by the Internal Revenue Service for use of their own automobiles when official town business effective July 1st, 2022. I'd like to make a motion to authorize that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Number 6 here, award moving services RFP for the Somers Library. I'd like to make a motion to award the moving services.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Number 7, consider authorization to the town's attorney to execute the consent judgment in the matter of 1P Way versus Town of Somers, ETAL. I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town attorney to execute.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move. Authorize going to, number 8, authorize going to bid for 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EVs not to exceed 35K per vehicle per August 4th, 2022 email from Bob Kehoe, Director of Finance. I'd like to make a motion to go out to bid for those 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So
Is
moved.
that off the state bid list? Those are, I think I saw that.
No, we're gonna do
No.
a formal bid.
Formal bid.
Yeah,
They're not on the state? I thought they were.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I can ask him, I mean, it's going up.
I thought I'd seen that on a bid, but yeah, I guess I'm mistaken.
I think it's because of what he wants.
Oh.
Just total electric.
Yeah, no, that's what the Volt is. Yeah, I know somebody who has that. Yeah, it's total electric.
Move on to number 9, combine November 3rd, 2022 work session and November 10th, 22 regular meeting to November 10th. I'd like to make a motion to combine the 2.
Because of early voting. and
Early
election.
voting.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
and we're part of the, right, our facility it holds the early voting.
Mhm.
Who seconded? that?
Second.
Going on vacation.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Just on early voting, there's gonna be another early voting session going.
We can start the
August?
13th here, I believe,
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, it goes
is early
Saturday
voting
to
for the
Sunday.
primaries.
Yep.
Saturday to Sunday.
So the primaries are gonna be early voting.
23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23rd is it. So
23rd
there's
is it, yep.
Saturday to Sunday, nothing on Monday, and then election day, so to speak, is Tuesday, the 23rd.
And when does early voting start? I'm sorry.
This Saturday.
Saturday.
This
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
For the, I
Right
mean, the
here.
problem is these things have so few people, you know, that actually vote. There'll be, you know, a couple
Well,
of
maybe
thousand
that-
people in the whole congressional district.
Maybe that you're talking about it, somebody's gonna listen.
I'm sure not. I'm used to when I talk, no one listens, but yes. But it is, someone asked me, I was doing a thing about politics. And so tell me about some of the problems that would help. You talk about money, but also I think the primary system is, you know, we met the enemy is us. We don't vote. Public doesn't vote in primaries, which encourages candidates from, you know, extremes or just people who can get enough votes to get that nomination. And you don't need that many. So if you organize, you have enough money, you know, you can do it. It's not the candidate's fault, but I don't know if there's some other way, but I don't think it's a good part of what we do now. At least it doesn't result in something good in our politics.
Well, in this situation though, it's because of the
Redistricting.
redistricting.
Yes.
That was removed and everything's, right?
Yeah, but look at the one in June. That didn't have very many people in it either.
Yeah.
You're looking at 10% of the people usually vote in a
Yeah.
primary.
So Patty, I'd like to add on this, if you guys are done. I'd like to add a 10th to this. I'd like to read a resolution and adopt it. So reserve that the town board of
Resolved.
What?
Resolve.
Resolve. I can't read the hand. Resolve that the
I
town
went to
board
Catholic school.
yeah, of the town of Somers hereby authorizes the supervisor to undertake the following tasks. 1, to continue negotiations with Veolia, the successor to Heritage Hills Waterworks Company, to supply portable water to the Business Historic District, the BHP, to include the Somers Townhouse. 2, to extend the Heritage Hills Water District to include the BHP extension area. And 3, to continue to work with Woodard and Curran engineers to design the water main extensions and associated pumping stations, hydrants, and
Appurtenances.
what is it?
Appurtenances.
Appurtenances, and to
Like
prepare
valves.
a map, plan, and report, and furthermore thereof. Yeah, that's pretty good for your handwriting. Pretty good.
And I
Pretty
believe
good.
you, man,
Better than my wife.
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, do you want me to type that up?
Yeah.
So send that.
I
down.
believe
I
you
want
meant
from this down this
potable
way.
water, not
It is
portable water.
total.
Well, I'm trying to read his handwriting.
Portable, yes, I said
And that's why
portable
I'm
water,
like
all
asking
water
him
source.
now.
I may have had an R
That's
in
not
there.
bad.
It's not bad, right? So I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution I just read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good, so moved. There is no additional business for Parks and Rec. Financials, there's no additional business. Highway, there's no additional business as well. Let me go on to personnel. We do have some vacancies here. Affordable Housing Board, 3 2-year terms ending 7/11/2024. Assessment Board of Review, 1 5-year term ending 9/30/2023. Library Board of Trustee, a 1 5-year term ending 12/31/2025. Partners in Prevention, we have 2 3-year terms ending 12/31/2022. And Partners in Prevention, a 1 3-year term ending 12/31/2023. Upcoming vacancies, terms expiring in 2022. Assessment Board of Review, 1 5-year term ending 12/30/2022. Number 3 on that, authorize the reappointment of Richard Auerbach to the Somers Affordable Housing Board for a 2-year term ending July 11th, 2024. I'd like to make a motion to reappoint.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So move. Number 4, authorize a salary adjustment to Charles Daymeyer, Assistant Building Inspector from grade 7A, Step 3, salary of $71,511 to grade 7A, Step 4, salary of $73,656 in accordance with the CSEA contract Appendix B per the agreement for successfully completing the Code Enforcement Basic Training Program in 6 months after being appointed per memo dated August 3rd, 2022, from Thomas J. Tuma Jr., Building Inspector, effective August 3rd, 2022. I'd like to make a motion to authorize that adjustment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. There is no additional business for planning and engineering. Police, there is no additional business. The consensus agenda there, we have one item, authorize the supervisor to execute the following, the 2022-2023 school tax warrants. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the consensus agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Calendar of events here. In September, we're back on track here in September 1st, 7 o'clock. We have our town board work session. September 8th, 2022, we have at 7 o'clock, we have our town board regular session. Then again, we meet again on October 6th for our town board work session, starting at 7 o'clock. And then October 13th, we have our town board regular meeting on the 13th at 7 o'clock. And then we just have a few announcements here. What's happening in the town of coming up to September. Somers Summer Concert Series presented by Somers Parks and Rec and Somers Historical Society, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturday, August 20th, Tillium Electric Mix of Styles in a 3-part harmony. That's on the Reese Park stage. And then again, Saturday, August 27th, Anthony Gatch and Torio Sentato, original acoustic blues, funk, and Americana at the Mount Zion Church. I'd like to say this is a really great initiative here that from Westchester County. It's Backpacks to School initiative, organized by the Sharing Shelf. Donate a new backpack and fill them with grade appropriate school supplies for low-income children in Westchester County. The Sharing Shelf plans to provide backpacks to at least 1,500 children and teens and seeks to raise $50,000 for this project. We're going to put that on our website for everybody to take a look at it. And you can donate sharingshelf.org, backpacks to school. You may also visit the sharingshelf.org and click on backpacks for school.
So they're looking for donations of money to provide those backpacks, or for me to go out and get a backpack?
I believe it's, you get
Put pins in it.
Yeah, that says, right, and fill them with the appropriate grade supplies. So they're looking for new backpacks. We asked if if old
Ah.
backpacks would be okay. They want new
Yeah,
backpacks.
yeah,
here for
you're
that.
a kid, yeah.
Okay, the address and drop-off location, 47 Purdy Avenue, Port Chester, New York, 10573 is that address if you want to do that. And then,
There's not a way for us to sort of
there's
collect them
probably a
in
way we could be class.
town?
Yeah, we'll put on there. We could probably put a
You know.
box out there and we can have someone drive down and deliver them.
I'll
So
do
we'll
it.
put that on our, well, that's great. Awesome. Thank you. And then again, September 1st is back to school. Thursday, September 1st, all the kids go back to school on that day. It's been a interesting summer. It's been a long summer, but been a good one so far. So for all the kids, but I guess they're headed back to school here.
Headed back to
Anybody else?
school
Oh,
the
do you
day
have
of our
any-
next meeting.
Just one.
Say, Tom, do you want to go? Wanna say
I was just
anything
gonna
else?
say, they're heading back to school the day of our next meeting, so good luck to all of them.
Yep. Bill, anything?
Yeah, just one as a public service announcement. There is a special election on August 23rd. Please come out and vote. And early voting starts this Saturday, August 13th, right here in the Elephant Hotel,
Anybody you
starting
know
at 10 a.m. I believe all parties will have representation in this particular election. Is that bipartisan enough?
Well, you're running, so I was just trying
I
to.
didn't say that. You did.
No, it's everybody's part, right? Primaries are here, so again, do your part and vote for the person who you would like in the primaries, and then see what happens. Rich, anything to add for the evening?
No, I just wanted to ask a question though, Roland, in case anyone heard that discussion about best plumbing. We don't have to sometimes we've kept the hearing open like for 10 days, people send stuff in, but they could just send the comments to the supervisor. They don't necessarily have to be part of the hearing to be on the record.
Right.
They just want us to take their opinion into
Consideration.
account.
Well, they'll be part of the meeting record, not part of the
Yes.
public hearing record.
Right, okay, but if they do, they could send it to the supervisor's office and then be distributed. Okay,
Yes.
all right, just in case.
Tony,
No, that's it. Welcome back to school.
welcome back to school.
Tuskers.
Yeah, go Tuskers. It'll be a great year this year. So I'd like to make a motion to close our Thursday, August 11th work session and / regular meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
All right.
Thank you.